Welcome everyone. I hope and pray you all are well. Culture Unite presents the Bhangra Aid 2020 online concert on the 25th of July from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. British Standard Time. I'm Chandni Kahn. I will be your host on the day and before the upcoming event with live interviews with some of the artists who are going to perform from their home or studio. In these difficult times, Bhangra Aid 2020 aims to unite artists and public worldwide. During this journey, we will also be extending our appreciation to all key workers around the world, but at the same time to send a message of hope to the public. Music and entertainment is the language of love and peace, and that's what we need right now. But before we start with the interview, I would like to remind you to visit our website at www.bhangraaid.com to get your free broadcast link for the event. My today's guest is an extremely highly talented tabla musician who has kept the Asian culture and music alive. He performed the first time on stage with the age of 12. He is so passionate about playing, also teaching tabla to students. During the lockdown, he has created lots of interesting stuff, which we will go in and interesting finding out about him. But besides all his passion for playing tabla, he has also done his law degree. A warm welcome to the talented Suneet Chandarana. Welcome, my dear. How are you, Suneet?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. And thank you for making time to be with us
My pleasure.
and supporting Bhangra Aid 2020.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
How have you been during the lockdown period? Tell us about that.
So during the lockdown, usually it's just. So I've just finished my law degree, as you mentioned in the winter, and I think I even felt the crunch of the lockdowns, like March, April. I was still doing exams, and so it kept me occupied. But I think after May, when exams finished, it's just nothing. Suddenly, there's nothing to do, and usually like summers are just packed with gigs, and like you're just sitting at home. And nothing. So that's when I had the idea of creating my own YouTube channel, and I've been wanting to make my whole room into a studio, as that's one of the videos on the channel, and it's
all right.
Yeah, so it's one of those, like, if I had done it any earlier, it would have been a massive distraction in my studies. But then I think the lockdown came in a good time where it gave me time to focus just on my tabla and in music in general, having to go out for gigs and not actually 100% focus on myself.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
So the channel is called Suneet Chandarana Official. Yeah, it's just newly created. It's only been a couple months since I've had it.
A baby for you. Tell us about your journey with, how it comes that you're so passionate about tabla and, what made you actually to become a musician?
So it started from really young, when I was about 2, 3, crazy age like that. And my dad used to play at the temple. And obviously he would never let me play on the actual tabla. So what I do is I'd literally whack his thigh, so like it would hurt him.
Okay.
That's one way to do it. But then and apparently he told me tabla was the first instrument I touched. So he let me pursue it. Went to a couple of teachers, all London based. And then as you mentioned, I started performing when I was 12. Like, so all these years I've been practicing and. So went on stage on 12, started doing my own networking by 16. And it's just connecting with different singers from the temple, and then, just recommendations. And I think it's just being humble, down to earth, and just the willingness to get to know people and connecting with people to music. And it's amazing how many friends I've made just through music, like people I wouldn't have even spoken to otherwise. And it's just like, they call you for a gig, and an hour into the gig, you come out and suddenly you're like best mates. And so yeah, it's
That's
amazing
nice. Yeah.
throughout the years, just through music itself.
So it's so much what music actually connect.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, on stage, like even if you haven't spoken to the guy, like if it's like a first time singer or a first time band you
Yeah.
perform,
Yeah.
it's the connection you get. It's the vibe that each musician gives off, and just smiling and having a good time on stage, and then that's all it is. It's just a big click, and
Yeah. Was it also like, I mean, in a teenager time, at that time when you're talking between 14 and 16, so it's often, what was your hobby? Did you have any other hobbies or did you follow them? Like often it's like, running on the streets and
yeah.
being out and about. Nothing like that for you?
So well, during secondary school, one thing I missed most was like going out to parties and whatnot. But then I think what people were saying is it's better. At least I'm doing Tabla, keeping me off the
Something.
streets, and now I've grown up, and I look back, and I'm so grateful that people have guided me in that path. And yes, I rebelled a little bit as you do when you're a teenager, but then once you get through it, you look back over the years, and you're like, oh, great. Thank you so much to the people who've actually pushed me through it and kept me motivated, and yeah, just let me pursue my passion. I did play badminton in secondary school, and like running, badminton, different sports. But I think Tabla was still at the bottom of my heart, my favorite. So I think any opportunity I was getting, I was just playing Tabla, and like after
Playing tabla.
Tabla, before school, we playing. This is a bit crazy. Like yeah, it was great. But obviously, as always, with always good moments, there's always the bad moments. But like there've been times where like I think during secondary school it's a bit hard, like when the Western culture is a bit more influenced than the Indian culture. So you had like the guitar being more influenced and the drum kit as opposed to the actual tabla. So during that time, it was like, I didn't think I want to play anymore. So I went to my dad. I was like to my dad, I'm considering that's it. I'm not playing tabla anymore. I'm stopping. And massive thank you to him for not letting me stop, to be honest. And my mum and dad. And yeah, so it's been tough where it has, but then I think once you get, as always, once you get through the tough patches, it's always great on the other side. And looking back, and
what was the main cause that you had those type of feelings to quit tabla?
I think during secondary school, so I was missing a lot of people have like house parties, people will be promoting the drums, people promoting the guitar, and there was I didn't have, so all the encouragement wasn't coming from my mates. It was coming more like family and just other musicians I was playing with, as opposed to like from the school side of it. And obviously being in school, 8:30 to 3, it plays a massive. It kind of did affect me in that way. Like I was missing so many things of where my friends were going, I wasn't going. But I was either out gigging or I had practice to do. So that point, I was just like, I feel like I'm missing out on too many things. But then, as I said, looking back at it, it's I wouldn't.
So you overcame your struggle, actually.
Sorry.
You overcame your struggle.
100%. It didn't last long. It was about a month or two, and I think it was just a patch of demotivation. But I think, as always, I think thank you to my mom and dad and just pursuing me. I mean, like pushing me to
the support from the family is so important.
Yeah. Immense.
So when you've been sent to particular teachers or in an institution, to actually learn in that way to play tabla?
Yeah, so when I was 3, again, a really crazy age, I used to have like hour-long sessions in a group, and 20 minutes into the session, I'd be knocked out on the tabla. So I would literally be sleeping, and I think, yes, it was. You could say it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time. People would pursue they would see it like, oh, he's not doing anything for 40 minutes. What's the point of paying for the lesson?
Yeah.
Again, that's why I thank my mom and dad for actually pushing me and just letting me go. And I think it's when you hammer it in from a young age, you kind of, they get used to it. It becomes part of their life. It's like something they can't imagine living without it. I look back and I'm like, I don't know what I'd be doing if I didn't have tabla in my life. Like it plays a massive part when it starts at a young age and goes through your, teenage and adulthood.
Well, 3 is actually very young. This is little.
Yeah,
actually,
insane.
Amazing that, and no wonder you fell asleep, even if it's the noise of the tabla. How did you manage that?
Well, I don't recall me actually not wanting to go to lessons. Not that I remember when I was 3, but as far as I can remember, I don't recall not wanting to go. So I think
Wow.
it's always been there for me to pursue the tabla career. And
So with all this now, you also, with obviously your young age, you've started teaching tabla as well. Is that to kids or is that to any, also to adults?
yeah, so I'm teaching the beginners to intermediate. So yeah, I've got a range at the moment. So youngest being like 5, 6, to oldest being like 40
But
plus.
not a 3 years old.
Not a 3 years old, not yet.
Not yet.
It depends. It depends on the child. Like, the attention. You want to kind of pay attention, and I think in this day and age, like, it's more you want to get money's worth. If someone's paying an hour and only getting 20 minutes worth,
Yeah.
then all sorts of questions start rising. Like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
And that. So yeah, I recommend 5, 6 is a good age to start, I guess. Yeah, tender age.
So, okay, and where do you actually teach, and how can people actually come and get more information?
Okay. Yeah, it's currently I'm teaching from home. So
All right. Okay.
yeah, so I've got my own place at home where I teach. I'm also I'm based in Harrow, Sudbury, so I'm
You've got you've got a website, or you've got your page where people say, okay, we can just look up for you.
Sure. You can follow me on Instagram, Tabla Percussions, Tabla Percussions _ YouTube. So DM me. You can send me a message on YouTube. Facebook, I'm on it. Tabla Percussions, and just my name, Suneet Chandarana. No such website at the moment. Thinking of getting in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. And who was or is your inspiration?
I have to say my dad.
Ah,
I have to say my dad.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because I think if my dad wasn't playing, I don't see myself playing. If I'm going to be honest, I think yeah.
Does your dad play professional, or is that just again as a hobby?
Full credit to him. It was his hobby. So he just participated. In the local Monday you go to Monday.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
So that's where it started. And as I said, I don't think I told you, but tabla was apparently the first. My parents told me tabla was the first instrument I touched. So yeah, it just started from there, really.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think I have to give it to my mum and dad, particularly my dad, for actually playing and letting me pursue it.
So it's obviously it's in the family. Is there any one else? So father and yourself. Anyone else in the family who plays? Any musician?
My eldest plays sitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the harmonium.
Wow. So whole family is musicians, full of musicians.
Yeah.
I think you have your own orchestra then, isn't it?
One day. You never know.
Yeah, that's it. Have you played all? Do you play all together?
We've done like a few family events where my sister's been on the harmonium, or just done a piece on the sitar. I've been on the tabla. My dad's been singing. My mum also sings. So yeah. So we've done a few family.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have actually done a little show with you guys alone, isn't it?
Could have.
You should. If I should have, known that before, we should have done that.
Yeah. Well.
Have you got any favorite, like there's a singer or any other artist who you think, oh, I want to follow that person? I know your dad is a the exception, but besides that,
I'd say so. In terms of my tabla, my inspiration is my current guruji at the moment, and my guruji that I learned, his name Sanju Sahai, on the Sanju Sahai, and I think it's just attending his sessions has been a massive inspiration. In terms of, it's changed my perception of tabla, like how I used to play it, and now just different in tabla, the subtle things make such a big difference when you're playing, and I think he's opened my eyes up so much to like the quality of the playing is what we want to look at, and thank you to him to actually taking me on as a student and guiding me in this direction. In terms of singers, I enjoy with. I'm not sure. Sing is.
Do you also listen like, say, pop music, rock, or other Bollywood and all that? Do you also listen to that, or are you more focused on the classical, traditional one?
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of this new trend, like the medley, like these cover songs,
Yeah.
Bollywood songs. I listen to a lot of those. Like that's like my soothing, like just jam kind of thing. But Bhangra, listen to like rock. I've got a new YouTube video on a rock Linkin Park song. What I've done. So yeah, that.
Tell us about this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So So what? My mates back in the day in secondary school, they used like some of them used to be into rock music, and I was never a fan at that time. But then just scrolling through YouTube, and it came up, and I was like, oh, I just heard the tune, and I'm like, oh, this would be really cool to just do a tabla cover on. Heard it, and Chester Bennington, who's the lead singer in the band, it happens to be his third death anniversary on today, 20th of July. I was like, should be a great way to give him a tribute and do a tabla cover over it. And it's really different. Like it's gone from me not listening to rock at all to actually like knowing like most of the lyrics to the song, and it's just like insane. Like so, yeah. I think what I look for most in the song is like the good beat. Just I'm not too worried about the words. I'm just about the beat and the rhythm and stuff like that. That's what I look for in the song. So. Yeah,
it's a lot of traditional values which I can see you have, along with the kept the culture alive as well. And also, I have to say, your shirt is, by the way, very, very nice. It's also very traditional.
Thank you. Yeah, getting to these specific designs is a story of its own. So my Masis and extended family, they used to, when they go India, I'd be like, oh, can you bring me back some kurtas or some and the biggest problem, there'd been like 10, 11. I'm like, I don't like the design, I don't like the color. So they'll literally, I'll just put them aside and never wear them. Like, just not even touch them.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where they would be like FaceTime me in India in the shop, or like taking like hundreds of pictures, and I'll literally hand pick every one I want. And even then, I'll come back to London and be like, this is not as good as I liked and stuff like that. So I've got so many. I've got more Indian than English.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's crazy. Like some of them I don't even touch because of the color. I'm so picky. It's crazy. Like yeah.
But it's good. Good. You have a good choice. You have a good choice. Can we listen to some just a short snip of any good, whatever you choose to, but let's listen to a tune. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. What are your future plans?
Future plans.
I mean, you just obviously graduated as well, so you're going to be, keeping up your studies, or what you're going to do?
Definitely. I think this lockdown has kind of changed my future plans. Like instead of me wanting to pursue a career in tabla, trying to make it full time. I think it's kind of changed. It's shaken it up a little bit. So focusing more on the studying side. So I've just graduated, doing a law degree, looking for a job in a law firm. Hopefully become a solicitor one day. And
you will.
Touch wood. It's just taking it step by step. I think that's how I've been taking it, and year on year, just getting things done. And achieving different things. And I think one of the biggest things that I've been wanting to do for years is my rune studio conversion. And yeah, so it's just, I think it's just the timing and the planning, and it's just eventually I feel everything just falls into place, and just let it be, I guess, and just go with the flow. Just having a positive mindset is the main thing, I guess.
Yeah, positive mindset is so important in everything. What is your message of hope for the audience?
Like, my message of hope is that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and better days to come. So I think stay positive and keep smiling.
That's true. Thank you very much. We wish you all the best for all whatever you're dreaming for, getting and reach far. You will rise. You've got wonderful, attributes. So, but we're looking forward to see you on the 25th.
Likewise, look forward to being part of the event. Thank you for having me. It's
Yeah.
to be part of the event.
Thank you for staying with us, and God bless you. See you very soon then.
Thank you. You too.
Take care. A wonderful, talented artist again, and it's wonderful to see how youngsters actually, keeping themselves away with a great hobby, being a musician or singer, and that's what we hope for our youngsters, for all of them, that they can actually reach higher and be away and safe. Thank you very much for joining me. And remember, it's so important never to lose hope. No matter what happens in life, nothing stays forever, whether it's a good time or bad time. And only together we can make it. So I will be back very soon with another interesting artist. Until then, look after yourself, take care, stay safe, stay alert. Bye.